Hi, I watched The Tale of Nokdu, and here's my review. Nokdu has always lived on an island. One day, he and his family gets attacked by a bunch of assassins. Nokdu decides then to pursue them, to chase them to the mainland in order to discover why they attacked them. During his journey, he gets to meet Dongju, who is going to spend a lot of time with and have to disguise himself as a woman to continue chasing the assassins. From now on, this video is going to be full spoiler, so if you haven't seen this drama and are interested to watch it, then do that first. Unfortunately, despite how intrigued I was by the plot, I end up being very mitigated for this drama. I was completely sold on the plot point of him having to dress as a woman. I don't think I've seen that before. I saw, of course, plenty of cross-dressing on the other way around, a girl dressing as a man, but a man as a girl is really unusual. However, two things made me quite disappointed about this point in particular, and the first thing is that it's obvious he's a man. Like, it's always or almost always pretty obvious that the girl disguising as a guy is actually a girl. In this case, it's pretty obvious too. They didn't make much to make it look like more like a woman. Sure, okay, he wears a dress and he has his hair put like women at the time, but that's about it. He changes his voice a bit, but yeah, it's obvious. However, if you manage to go past this, to kind of overlook that it's clearly obvious that he is a man and not a woman, it's still pretty enjoyable to see him go around as a woman and trying to act like one. I really liked his character as Miss Kim. So if you can look past this, then it's completely okay. Second thing, and it's that it's not long enough. Usually, cross-dressing in a drama takes most of the drama's time. Depending, sometimes some people know, some people don't, and it can drag to the end. But it's clearly not the case in this drama. By the half of the drama, he doesn't dress as a woman anymore. He does, I think, once or twice. But that's about it. So very, very disappointed about that, because like I just said, I really like Miss Kim, so it was sad to see her go. And in the end, it's not even half of the drama, because it doesn't start at the very beginning, and I don't think it finishes right at the middle, but a bit before. And the fact that Dongju knows pretty quickly that he is a man, I don't have a problem with this, actually, but the fact that she does know so quickly in the drama makes it that since they spent a lot of time together, it doesn't have to act like a woman. So most of the time, we don't even really see him acting like a woman, just a guy dressed as a woman. And yeah, pretty disappointed about this point. I don't know, I feel like I just wanted to see Miss Kim a lot more and actually see her kind of develop. Let me explain. In a sense that I wanted to see her, how to say, because in the first place, he just dresses as a widow, right? So it's very plain, it's no makeup, nothing, even the hair, and actually the hair. He looks incredible with this hair. Throughout the drama, he keeps repeating how handsome he is when he is a guy, not disguised, but I'm sorry, you're much more handsome dressed as a girl. Anyway, I thought we were going to see him when he leaves the widow village. I thought he was going to dress as a woman still, to hide his identity better and everything. And I thought that it was going to be some kind of graduational thing, where first he has just these plain clothes, then maybe better clothes, a different hairstyle, maybe makeup. I really thought that by the end of the drama we would kind of see full-blown, maybe not as a courtesan, but really something more extravagant. So quite disappointed about that, especially since I think in the little opening we see him putting lipstick on, which doesn't happen in the drama. During the first 5 minutes approximately, I would say, of the drama, we get to know that there is a secret surrounding Nokdu. However, if you watch historical dramas in the first place, if you're used to them, even if you haven't watched a lot, because I don't watch them that much, you know, he's on an island, there's a secret, then you're like, oh, okay. You guess he's probably from royal family, right? And what can he be in the royal family except a prince? And it's just confirmed just really quickly that it's a birth secret. I think maybe it's said from the very get-go that it's a birth secret. So there's absolutely no tension, no real secret, no wondering of who he is really, because you just know it. Until it was confirmed, though, I kept hoping that my guess was wrong. I thought maybe they made it this obvious, but it's a twist. It isn't. And while this fact really pushed me away from the drama in the sense that since I felt like I knew the secret, I kind of knew how everything was going to play out, mostly. Since I knew, I had the hardest time continuing the drama. It was not the drama. I'm not saying the drama is terrible, but it was terrible how hard it was for me to continue the drama. At least what I really, really like is that they don't make him become king. They don't make him go back to live in the palace with, I don't know, maybe the father finally accepting him, which would be very weird. So most likely the king is dead and he goes on to being the king. Oh, thank you they didn't do that. Because usually this is how it happens and I don't like it. I mean, what's good about being the king? Clearly, there's nothing good. Maybe 1 or 2 perks, okay. But clearly, you're way better off on your island. So, at least they did that. But yeah, the whole thing around the secret, it was not even a secret. Next up is also something that made me kind of unable to really get invested in the story, and it's the relationship between Dongju and Nokdu. In the first place, I really like their relationship. However, I think like they kind of fall in love for no reason, out of nowhere. So when they suddenly start having feelings for each other and she pushes him away and he kind of runs after her, you know, I just couldn't buy into it. I couldn't buy into their feelings at all. It was weird to see them together. Not to say they were not cute. I mean, looking at them being kind of cute, you know, they are cute. But I felt like the chemistry was really, really lacking because I couldn't put my hand on what had made them love each other. It seemed so way out of the blue for me. So a big throw-off for me on that too, that made it difficult for me to watch. Also the fact that, and I can't forget this, that they have the biggest communication issue of the whole planet. Really. Until almost the very end, they don't tell each other their problems, what they are going through and why, and what they want to do. I can understand from Dongju's side a bit more. I mean, you can't tell everybody, I want to kill the king, I'm ready to die. And of course, you're not going to say it to the person you love and loves you back. It's just going to destroy them, they're going to want to stop you. So I can understand it more on Dongju's side. But for Nokdu, I don't know, at some point they just have so many opportunities of talking, of even giving hints. But no, since they never talk, they keep going on with misunderstanding after misunderstanding the whole time in the drama. It's tiring. It's tiring because it's a problem between them that you know could be resolved with just one talk. And to me, it's not a real problem. I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, yeah, well, maybe just talk together. I mean, you love each other. Yeah, it was pretty much really making me mad at some point. I was watching the drama being really mad. However, though, it's towards the end. I can't remember when exactly, but I started liking their relationship. And when they are together at the end on the island and they end up getting married and everything, I found them very, very so cute. So, yeah, at some point towards the end, I start liking them, but for the most part, I liked them as individuals and friends, and I found them cute on screen as a couple, but I couldn't buy into this romance. The plot is a bit unusual, even if it falls short at some point. The acting is pretty good, honestly. I have nothing to say about the acting. Some actors also very surprise me. I think right now I'm thinking about the prince, the cousin prince, this guy. He really surprised me. And so sometimes we have such kind of plot twists sometimes, or things you don't necessarily see coming, and this guy is part of it. So you have still some engaging and interesting things in the drama. All the characters are also very endearing. I mean, even if you don't like them, I'm going to talk about the cousin again. Even if you don't like a character, they are still interesting enough to make them likable as characters on their own. And not everyone, not always, and not always well done, I think, but I think they try to give a bit of texture to the characters too. They don't try to make them all white or all black. And again, I especially think about the baddies, especially the king and the cousin, that you can see have conflicting emotions. And even though they are bad on one side, they are not necessarily bad on another side. They have feelings too. They are still humans. You know, they are not just all dark, all mean. So I really, really like that. When I wrote my note, and even right now when I'm talking about it, I don't know why it was so difficult for me to watch. And I ended up giving it only 6.5 out of 10. Because when I think about it, I actually enjoyed myself. Maybe it's just in retrospect. Like while watching it, I was a bit meh. But later on, when I think about it, because even though I give it such a low rating, I feel like I would recommend this drama. Because in a sense, it's still, I think, kind of unusual. And maybe it's just what was keeping me from really enjoying the drama is, like I said, I thought I knew what the direction of the drama was, how it was going to turn out, how it was going to end, and it doesn't. In the end, it turns out the way I wanted things to turn, actually. So, yeah, maybe that's why. I mean, just this twist around the cousin. I don't know if I'm stupid or if I actually haven't seen enough historical dramas so far. But I really, really didn't see it coming for the prince, the cousin prince, when he revealed to the king that he was born on the same day as his son, November 19th. Ah! I really, really didn't see that coming. Clearly. Never even thought of it once. And yeah, it's this kind of little twists that arrive, unfortunately, mostly towards the end that we get that really give a new perspective to the story and really shows the story under a new light. And it's a bit sad it happens just at the end, but at the same time I understand why it does story-wise. But yeah, tell me I was not the only one who had no idea this could even be a thing. Okay, and kind of linked with what I was saying just before of why it was difficult for me to get into the story, I wrote a few points that I don't necessarily want to talk about, but I want to throw out there. First thing is how the Kings goes out so much. Fortunately, they eventually kind of talk about it in the drama, they address it, but in the first place they don't. And I kept seeing the king outside the palace the whole time. And I was like, okay, you have so much free time. I've never seen a king outside so much before. Then another big point is how Dongju wants to kill the king. Her first attempt doesn't work. Second time she gets to have an attempt is when Nokdu also wants to kill him. They are traveling from the palace to this point, somewhere in the woods. And during the whole way to there, she has this amount of time to kill him. She just has to hide behind a tree and shoot her arrow. But she doesn't, she just follows them, tree after tree after tree, and then she tries to kill the king when it's so difficult because they finally arrived in their destination and he's inside and everything. Like, you had the most time. I thought it was her plan to kill him on the road, but no. I don't know, this was really weird. Watching it, I couldn't understand what was going on. Last thing is, and this thing I actually want to ask you, if of course you watched the drama, do we ever know really why the assassins were sent to kill Nokdu and his family? Because the purpose of this drama is Nokdu finding the assassins, finding the chief, and understanding, knowing why they want to kill them. So, okay, later on, it's like, because, you know, they are kind of on the run. He is the son of the king. But no one knows. No one knows the son is alive. No one knows they live on this island. I keep thinking about it and I just can't understand why assassins were sent there to kill them. Maybe I lost something. Maybe, you know, since I was really not that invested, maybe I completely miss it. But that's why I'm asking you, because why did the assassins attack? I don't think they say it. But I could be wrong, so tell me. But tell me also if you have no idea and it's not just me. And that's it with the Tale of Nokdu. Honestly, if I was to listen to myself right now, in retrospect, I really hope I'm not saying this wrong because I keep saying it. Thinking back about it, I think I enjoy the drama more than I did while I was actually watching it. I hope you enjoyed the drama. It's not because it was a bit difficult for me. It's not because I wished it was better that it has to be the case for you too. I really hope you enjoyed it because when you think about it, it's nowhere near a bad drama. It's pretty good, honestly. So I hope you enjoyed, and if you did love it, I hope you don't hate me for this, because yeah, I feel like I have a lot of bad things to say. But yeah, anyway, that's it for me. I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.